Hello replay viewers, and welcome to a sunny afternoon in Montgomery, Alabama. It's a uncharacteristically beautiful day. Lately we've had a lot of storms. Welcome. Had a lot of storms. It's been getting quite chilly. Spring has a temper in the south. So we've been down to the 30s or 0 degrees Celsius. Today it's in the 70s. It's beautiful. Just a little heads up. I wanted to share some updates about my Europe trip. So for the first couple minutes, I'll just ramble on about updates on the trip. However, I'm going to stick around. I'm going to take some ideas from everyone, see what everyone thinks about taking a drone up. I did get my drone. I got it up in the air for the first time yesterday. And just take some ideas, So this will be one of the few times that I stick around just for the chat. So I have something to say for a couple minutes. After that, I'm just going to leave the camera on, see who falls in, take their opinion. We have one in the chat right now. And good afternoon. It's in sunny Montgomery, Alabama. I'm going to ask you your opinion if you know anything about drones and about photography and what you think about it. Ultimately, I'll be doing that. I'll be posting it up and see what everyone thinks. But what brought me here actually has to do with the trip. I am 23 days out from my Europe trip. I will take everyone with me to Europe. I'm going to go to Germany. I'll go through Switzerland. I'll go to Milan, Italy, Rome, Italy, and Verona, Italy. And I intend to take some videos while I'm in the Swiss Alps. Some Periscope videos in the Swiss Alps and some Instagram photos as well. Welcome. So the reason I came here, I actually needed an international driver's license. So I had to go to AAA. We go to AAA, it's about $15. Brussels. We're in southern United States, Brussels. It's Alabama. I was just talking about traveling to Europe in 23 days. I actually had to get my international driver's license to drive over there. So I've driven on the Autobahn before in Germany, and I think it's called Autostrade in Italy. And I went and got my license to drive the rental through the Alps. I also had to come down here. I'm going to take advantage of something we have in the United States called TSA PreCheck, which basically just means that I won't have to take all my clothes off, like no belt, shoes, take everything out of my bags. It'll make the security lines a lot better. So if you're willing to forfeit a little bit of privacy and pay $85, they will do a background check on you prior to you traveling. And when you get to the TSA lines, they'll actually see your ticket and you have a known traveler number. Will you do a tour of Europe? So I will do a semi-tour. So I'm going to keep it into the confines of Germany, Switzerland, and Italy this trip. I may slip over to Austria. It just depends on time. I'll be there for 2 weeks. So right now on the schedule, I will land in Stuttgart, Germany, which is the southwestern corner of Germany. And I will drive through the Swiss Alps, through Switzerland, down to Milan, Italy. I'll stay in Milan for a couple days, and then I'll go to Rome, Italy, and then I'll go back up to Verona. So, and I plan on scoping that entire trip. It'll be a little interesting. I've been keeping an eye on the map view there for Periscope, and I see a lot of people scoping in Europe, but I do not see a lot of people speaking English. So I really think it'll be fun to take that English. At which city in Germany? So I'll land in Stuttgart. And within Germany, I intend to also go to Heidelberg. Those are 2 trips. I've actually been to Germany before, so those are 2 places that I'll guaranteed go, Stuttgart and Heidelberg. They're both southern cities. I think they're both in the state of Baden-Württemberg. I've actually never been to Munich, so I may slip down there. It just depends on time. So those are my updates. I just wanted to mention the AAA and what you go through to get an international translation. There's actually quite a bit of countries that allow driver's license. They have reciprocity. So you can take your driver's license to other countries. You could drive. It'll be fine. They're part of an agreement. However, if you want to have less trouble when you get pulled over, you need an international translation. So when someone says they have an international driver's license, it just means that they have an official translation. And in the United States, you can get that official translation from a company called AAA for $15. And TSA PreCheck, which will only really help me stateside in the United States. However, I won't be so miserable when I go through the airports. So that's the updates for the trip. I'm just going to show beautiful scenery, and I think I'll tie it into about 5 minutes. If anybody drops in, we're going to chat about drone. If not, I'm just going to have beautiful scenery for the next 5 minutes. So if you're watching the replay, there's no promises for the next 5 minutes. I can't promise that I'll be talking. I may or may not be talking for the next 5 minutes. So if you got caught by this title, Europe in 23 days, I'm done making updates about Europe in 23 days. Now I want to talk about drones. And I'm going to do so based off of people's opinions. So I'll just be sitting here looking at beautiful sights for the next 5 minutes at least. If no one joins the chat in 5 minutes, that'll make it about a 10-minute scope. I'll just cut it off. And the second half of the scope will just be beautiful sights of the East Chase Mall in Montgomery. It's absolutely stunning weather. Good afternoon. I've actually already spoken about my Europe trip. However, I'm here to talk about drones and drone videos. It's not what I intended to talk about, but this fountain that I'm sitting in front of, if you've ever been to Rome, they have fountains of this nature almost everywhere you go. You have an animal spitting water out of its mouth, falling in. It's funny though, because I think some of them are called fountains. A lot of people will call them bath areas. It's kind of different. Most people don't realize that the famous Spanish steps picture is actually taken in front of one of those baths. You know, usually people see the steps with all the flowers, but right in front of that's a famous bath. But the reason I was attracted to it and the reason I sat beside it is because it looks like an obelisk on the top. And if you've ever been to Europe, you'll find out that everything everywhere has obelisks. Every country has an obelisk. Almost every city, almost every neighborhood, they all have obelisks. It's just a couple minutes till 1 p.m. Central Time, U.S. About 1:05. I'll just cut it off. If you're still listening, waiting for a discussion about drones, I have an idea of what I want to do. I would just love to share that idea with people and see if they think it's interesting and if they could improve that idea. So it's going to do no good to just talk about that idea to myself. I do have a photographer friend. Actually, my roommates. I have a roommate couple, married couple, and the man, he is actually a photographer. So he's still beginning. He's still new. However, I've gained a little bit of insight from him about what he thinks. You know, what kind of value he thinks there is in taking drone video and drone pictures. So we're just going to have a pretty, look at this. This also is very European in my opinion. Is that focused? It should be, oh, look at that focus. It's a beautiful thing. Welcome. Right now I'm just looking for any open chat and any opinion that people have of taking aerial video and pictures from a drone. Where are you from? I've already shared updates in the beginning of this video about a trip I'm taking to Europe. Right now, what I intend to do is take a Phantom 4 drone up in the air, take aerial videos and pictures. And I'm just interested to see what people think would be worthwhile. What kind of things do you think, if taking landscapes would be nice, or if you think trying to get video of cities would be nice? Just what people's opinions are. This is new to me, and I plan to put it on Periscope, so I'd love to hear any opinions you have. I'm not 100% sure that I'll take the drone to Europe. It's actually two separate topics. I will be taking my viewers to Europe with me via Periscope. So if you're interested in that, you could follow. But I'm not 100% sure that I'm going to take the drone. I'll be landing in Germany, and they're very relaxed and compared to the United States Federal Aviation Administration, the FAA, Germany's policies seem to be a little bit more relaxed. Oh yes, it's new. It's a fun one. I actually just flew it for the first time yesterday. I've had it for 2 weeks, but I've been incredibly busy, so I just put it in the air yesterday for the first time. But I am a little worried that Italy will not have it. Simply will not have it. Where are you in Europe? I'm an air cadet instructor, so we have a few. Oh, check you out. Check you out. It's if you don't mind me asking, which military? Or air cadet? Yes, you're referring to military. Am I right? Royal Air Force. That's okay. I've never flown one. That's I'm very, very new to this. UK, huh? I'm new. I jumped in when I wanted to get a drone, and I just compared all the ones that were available, and the Phantom 4 was already available when I started looking at it. So I figured if I'm going to invest, I might as well invest in one with that sensing technology where it'll do object avoidance. What I'm interested in, I don't know. It sounds like you use it on a much more serious level than I do, but I'm interested in seeing what people will generally like, if they want landscape or if they think cityscapes will be better. The United States does have fairly relaxed policies. You just got to stay away from people, and don't fly within 5 miles of an airport without informing them first. But built in the drones, I don't know how they work in Europe, but built within the Phantom 4, it's got geofencing. So it actually will not allow me to fly into restricted airspace. It'll actually stop flying. So I thought that was an interesting feature. So just looking for people's opinions, see what kind of value this has on Periscope for you guys. Big net that catches them. Yeah, I really thought that I would enjoy flying it more. Oh, air cadets age 12 to 20. Okay. Well, I really thought I would actually enjoy the flight itself a lot more than I did yesterday. You know, it was my first time bringing it up. But I find that when you spend so much money, that it's much more serious than it is fun. So as much as I want to, go, and play around and, do great things, it'll go up to 40 miles an hour, 39 miles per hour. As much fun as I want to have with it, I guess the maturity in me doesn't allow me to do such a thing. Nice to film over water, coastline. That's very easy. I'm actually from a beach town. I'm from Panama City, Florida, which is actually a very, very popular spring break destination. So a lot of college students spend time there throughout the year. So actually, a lot of college students spend time there throughout the year, and I'm gonna flip this camera around. I get tired. Can you hear me now? I think my headphones were unplugged a little bit when I turned the phone. So I'm interested to see, to follow things. I actually know someone, she does kayak fishing, and I was interested to go out with her to a lake and see what kind of shots I can get out of that, because there's a lot of state parks around us. But I do live by some of the nicer beaches in Florida. So in Panama City Beach, Florida has white sandy beaches, but it's coastal. It's the Gulf of Mexico. So the waves don't get more than 3 or 4 feet. So I don't know if that's better or worse for video's sake. However, I do have the ability to get some of those shots. I don't know your experience with it, but I do have a slight fear of the drone going in the water. So if it hits the ground, I have the protection plan, or the extended warranty. But if it drops in the water, I'm not so much sure how that's going to work. Follow you. So I'm not quite sure, what, if I land it on the ground, if I'm careful and I land it in a field, you can get extra blades, you can replace the arms quite easily. But water, it's all she wrote, especially salt water, because salt water is corrosive. So it'll be all she wrote if she hits the water. So I think I am interested in getting maybe moving vehicles, because if I do take it to, I feel like that's a better shot out of the sun. If I do take it to Europe, I'll probably take some moving shots in Switzerland. To drying it out. Yeah, I don't know if I'm brave enough to take mine out into the rain. Maybe you have the UK government on your side, but this was a personal investment. So I'm not 100% sure what how I feel about that. So, have you found any limitations with because it runs on the 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi network? Have you found any limitations with interference? Raise the cash yourselves. Oh, I know fundraising. I definitely do that. I was in music for way too long to not know it. No? Yeah, I'm a little worried. 2.4, as soon as I fired it up yesterday, it immediately said that it sensed a bunch of interference around it to not let the drone too far out of sight, that it could disconnect. I just figured that I'll be relying on the return to home feature. So supposedly, the way it works is if it gets disconnected from my remote, that it'll automatically return to where it took off via GPS. So I guess I'm just going to have to rely on that because, there's Wi-Fi everywhere. You can't escape this. So if I do anything close to town or close to any sorts of buildings, then I'm going to have a 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi around me. So that interference is just going to be there. I'm curious to know the distance. I know you're using metric there. But in imperial terms, they go, I think, 3.1 miles. Actually, by the FAA policy and rules here in the U.S., I cannot let the drone out of my sight, and I can't exactly see 3 miles, I don't think. But I am curious about the distance. I'm just to know if it really does pack a punch in that regard, to see if it really will take the shot. I was thinking about taking it to an open wooded area or a field or something of that nature, and see if I could take it maybe up to a mile. That way, if it goes down, it wouldn't be hard for me to retract. A few hundred meters, maybe 500 meters. Yeah, I think the value in it is going to be more vertical. I think getting those aerial shots, because I can go the distance just on my feet. I could drive to somewhere and be close to whatever I want to take video of or pictures of, and so I think the biggest value in a drone is that aerial shot, that up and down, just trying to get above things and to see it from a different perspective, a perspective that wasn't previously available. So I know one of my presets right now will make the camera drop straight up and down. So I really look to see how we can play with that and how that can work out. But have you traveled through Europe? Have you tried to take your drone? Have you tried to take a drone anywhere other than where you're at? Check out 816 wide open. Okay, I appreciate it. Hey, hit the follow if you want to see how this turns out. I'll take the drone up next week, and I'll go to Europe in a few weeks. So I'd love to share. I've actually stayed longer than I said I would, waiting to see who wants to have an opinion about drones. So it's about time for me to cut this off. Hello, Jazzy Girl. Just wrapping up a conversation about flying drones and pictures. If you have an opinion, I'd be glad to hear it. A drone just gives me the ability to take a camera a couple miles into the sky, take pictures and video that's not previously possible with just standing on the ground, I always find it interesting if you look on the list feed. If you're still listening to this, that's one dedicated replay viewer. I find it interesting that the replay feed is just people's faces. If you look at the I guess the featured list, it's usually just people's faces. It don't matter what the title is, it's going to be their face. So I'm curious to know if the Periscope algorithm has something to do with that. I always think it's weird to be I do have an iPhone 6s Plus, and I don't know if you've ever looked at yourself in an iPhone 6s Plus with your head this big on the screen, but to me it's kind of weird. How about this? Is that better? I have just a friend that would enjoy this kind of conversation. Too bad it's about 2 a.m. her time. Yay. Okay. I'm going to end this. That happens to be one of my favorite places to grab clothes. So we have 23 days left. I'm going to try to scope every day from now to the Europe trip to inform. So if you're listening to this, goodbye. Good for you. Good for you. You made it to the end. And if you are, then you know what? Share this video. People, I think, will be interested to see an English-speaking person in Europe. So if you're listening this far, share the video. And after 24 hours, this will be on my catch. It's catch.me/Joshua229T. T because it's Twitter-based. And I always put still shots from Periscopes on my Instagram. So Joshua229I, the I stands for Instagram. So this video will be up on Catch. Pictures will be up on Instagram. Share it. We'll go to Europe together. We'll have a good time. I'd really like to have some conversation when I'm in Europe, not just show people around and talk to my screen. Hello. Hello, I was saying goodbye. I was saying goodbye unless you have some sort of opinion about drones and about the value of video coming from drones. Welcome. Or if you think you'll enjoy an English-speaking person in Europe. Are you there? You there, my one person that's left. Hi, where are you from? Chocolate. Let's see. Look at this. UK. I'm sorry, I didn't see. I just see if you want. I'm sorry, I was looking at something else. What was your previous comment? I think there's a lag with Periscope. I apologize. I just saw if you want. If I want what? I'm just gonna plug Banana Republic. Maybe they'll contact me. Greece in August, huh? It's an interesting spelling of Greece. So yes, I haven't been to Greece yet. I'll go to Germany, Stuttgart. I'll go to Switzerland and Italy, 3 different places: Milan, Verona, and Rome. So I'll be very interested to see how this turns out. I don't know. You have a UK flag behind your profile picture, so maybe you also speak English. Germany, Switzerland, and Italy. It's primarily going to be a German and an Italian trip, I guess. I'm only spending a short amount of time in Switzerland. But I'll go to Stuttgart, Germany, Heidelberg, Germany, and I'll go to Verona, Milan, and Rome, Italy. I'll spend 6 days in Rome, so I'll see a lot of Rome. I think there's some value in that. What about France? I went to France last year. So for most American, I'm actually in graduate school. I'm a teacher. So I only get to travel once a year internationally. And my last trip was to Paris. Last year I went to Rome and Paris. So we'll go to these places first. I think it'll be interesting to be either the only or one of the only English-speaking people on Periscope in these places. Because a lot of people Periscope, a lot of people scope from Rome, a lot of people scope from Milan. I never see English, so I'm hoping to take you guys along for the ride. Where are you going in Greece? Yes, yes. I've been hearing about it. I'm actually taking my in-law, and he's really, really into football. So he asked if we'd be close, but I think the closest I'll be, because, Stuttgart, Germany is in southwest Germany. So I believe it to be still a 10 to 12 hour drive. So that'll be the closest I'll be. I don't think I have the time. I'm going to hit the ground running. I'll land, and within 12 hours I'll be driving. So I don't believe I'll have the time. But this is definitely on my list of things that I'd love to see and do. Do you worry about traveling around Europe? Everybody asks me the same questions. I'm going to Europe, and everybody sees the news. Do you have the same concerns being from there? Feel free to have an opinion, the other two people that just joined. I'm sorry, I missed that comment. I was actually busy checking your profile. What was that comment? You said something about a GoPro and a drone and an iPhone. I actually do have a question about your profile after you've made this comment again. Yeah, I know that was a long comment. See if it pops back up. No, maybe that's better. Maybe I should have brought a tripod with me. What was the comment about the GoPro and the drone? I think I saw iPhone, GoPro, and drone. I did not see the words surrounding that. But if you're talking about connecting the three, only the Phantom 2 has a mount for a GoPro, which I do have a GoPro. So as I said my goodbyes, people come in, ask a couple questions, leave. That man had like 6 flags in his name. I wanted to ask him why. I think it's funny. I think people will join the video because of the face. Hello. Hello, Nikki. I suppose if you sit here long enough, just showing your face in a random Banana Republic sign, people will just join. Drop in, drop out. In 19. Okay, I'm heading out of here for reals. If you're actually listening to what I'm saying right now, this is crazy for you to listen and just look at me, looking at you. And I applaud you for looking at me, looking at you. And as I was saying about 10 or 15 minutes ago, share. Share, and we'll share this journey together. I will tag the photos I put today under Eurotrip 3 prep, because the whole purpose of me being in Montgomery, Alabama today is to prep for my Eurotrip. And I will probably do a scope every day from now until the trip. So this is 23. Tomorrow we're going to go on to 22. If you watched this far, thank you. Bye for now.